Alright guys, so we've talked about the first kind of 2 points, which is the initial point, so it's just the pure acid at this point in time. And then we've kind of talked about a midpoint, but it wasn't really a midpoint. It was more of like a random point I picked. I do want to walk through the math of a midpoint, but it's exactly the same math as you just saw. The only difference are the numbers that we're dealing with. So in this case, our midpoint is going to be when we add 12.5 milliliters of the sodium hydroxide to our 25 milliliters, 1 molar acetic acid. Now, how did I know that was my value? Well, because if you go back here, and we look at our original values here, 1 molar, 25 milliliters, we have 0.025 moles of acetic acid. Okay? The midpoint, our halfway point, our midway point, it's called a couple different things, but anything that kind of suggests that halfway between equivalence point and beginning point. Midpoint is what it exactly sounds like. It means we're halfway through the titration. Well, the titration is at the equivalence point, or the equivalence point is kind of the point of the titration. Well, if you remember equivalence, equivalence means moles of the acid equals moles of the base. So the midpoint is halfway there, meaning if this is the moles of our acid, our base moles has to be half of that. Okay? And if you remember back to our molarity, moles over liters equals molarity, well, I'm trying to calculate my volume here, which was this guy here. I already gave it to you, but just to kind of see how it works. So I know I need 0.0125 moles to reach my halfway point, because it's half of my acid, times X liters equals a molarity of 1. Okay, solve this out, and our volume ends up being 12.5 milliliters, or 0.0125 liters. And you can do the math for yourself and see if that's a true statement. But it is, and this is what we get. 12.5 milliliters of sodium hydroxide is needed to reach the midpoint. So let's look at the math involved of actually doing this. Okay, let's get rid of all this real quick. Okay, and I didn't mean to erase that, so let me write that back up there. 12.5 milliliters NaOH. So remember what we talked about in class today, what we just did. Adding a base to an acid means we have a reaction. What is that reaction? Well, it's the acetic acid plus the sodium hydroxide, which a lot of times we'll write as the hydroxide ion because, again, net ionic, the sodium's there, we're just not writing it, to form water and the acetate ion. Okay, so to do this, this is our stoichiometry, which means we want moles. So we want to calculate moles. Well, again, molarity is moles over liters, so take our molarity, multiply it by liters. We have 0.025 moles here, 0.0125 moles for sodium hydroxide. That came from here, and again, 1 molar solution. Okay, we don't care about water, and we assume 0 of this. It makes our math easier just to do a reset button. And again, talking about that reset button, this is a total of 12.5, so we just added 8 milliliters on the last video. Now we're adding until we get to 12.5. It's not that we're adding 12.5 on top of 8. We're just adding until we reach 12.5 milliliters. And what we're kind of doing is we're going back and saying, okay, I didn't add any sodium hydroxide. Now I'm going to add 12.5 milliliters. So we're kind of ignoring the fact that we've already added 8, if that makes any sense. It's what I call a reset. It just allows us to do our math a little bit easier. Okay, so from here, we do our stoichiometry. Hydroxide still a limiting reactant, so we subtract that from both of these. Okay, that gives us 0.0125 moles of the acid left over. The base has all been used up, and we have 0.0125 sodium acetate, or acetate ions, floating around. Okay, so we still have the acid in the solution, and we have the conjugate base. So what that means, if we're going to calculate pH, because remember what we're trying to do here is calculate pH at different points in time in the titration. If we're going to calculate pH, we need an equation that's going to give us either hydrogen or hydroxide. In this case, we have the original equilibrium, which was on the other video, but still the same thing going on. So we have the acetic acid reacting with water to produce hydronium ions and acetate ions. So we're going to do an ice table with these substances. Okay? But remember, in ice table, we need molarity. So right now, what we've calculated is moles. We need molarity. Well, remember, molarity is moles over liters. So we have 25 milliliters already. We added 12.5 milliliters, so 12.5 plus 25 gives us a total of 37.5 milliliters. So we're going to come down here, take our 2 mole values, and divide them by 0.037, because remember this is liters, 0.75, excuse me, 0.0375 liters. Same with this guy, 0.0375 liters. Okay, and we're going to get those values. Okay, and what we get with those two values is 0.33 molar, and that's going to be the same for both of them because it's the same number be divided by the same number. So 0.33 molar goes in for both of these values. And again, reset button, so 0 hydronium. Again, we don't care about water. We know we're shifting towards products due to the 0. Okay, and we solve for x, just like we always solve for x, meaning we use our equilibrium expression, which our Ka, if you remember, is 1.8 times 10 to the negative 5th. I think it's still up here. Yep, Ka, 1.8 times 10 to the negative 5th. Okay, that's going to equal x times 0.33 divided by 0.33. Now, what do you notice here in your math? Okay, because these two values are the same, they actually cancel out, which means our x is going to equal 1.8 times 10 to the negative 5th. Our x value actually equals our Ka, our Kb, if we're dealing with a base, at our midpoint, and that's only true at the midpoint. Okay, so that does make our math easier. So in technicalities, we could probably get away without having to do all the math, but you still can. It's kind of one of those things that you're called. So at the midpoint, we can determine our pH by knowing X, concentration of hydrogen, is going to equal our Ka value. So if X equals our Ka value, 1.8 times 10 to the negative 5th, we take the negative log of that, and again, that's going to be our pH, because we're taking the negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration. And we get that pH. Okay, and that's going to give us 4.74 for our pH at the midpoint. Okay, so that's that math. Pretty straightforward. It's the exact same math we actually just did. The only difference is what numbers we have. So let's look at the equivalence point. Now, what is the equivalence point? Okay, the equivalence point is when the moles of the acid equal the moles of the base. So, again, we could do the math to figure it out. Okay, hold on, let me clear off the board. There we go. So we can do our math and basically say, okay, we know we have 0.025 moles of the acetic acid, which means we must have 0.025 moles of the sodium hydroxide at the equivalence point. These two values have to be equal or it's not an equivalence point. So again, we can calculate what volume of sodium hydroxide we need to reach the equivalence point. That can be a very common problem. So again, that could be calculated by using our MAVA equals MB/VB. So again, moles have to equal at the equivalence point. Well, molarity times volume gives us moles of the acid. Molarity times volume gives us moles of the base. Moles of the acid equal the moles of the base. So this is only a usable equation at the equivalence point. Okay, so we can calculate how much we needed, knowing that we have a molarity of 1 molar for our acid times 25 milliliters. We know our molarity of our base is 1 molar times X. Do the math. Our volume of base needed is 25 milliliters. Okay, so after all that math, what we end up with is we're adding 25 milliliters of sodium hydroxide to our 25 milliliters of acetic acid. And please keep in mind these two volumes are not always going to be equal at the equivalence point. It's the moles that are equal, not the volume, not the molarity. The two volumes just happen to be equal here because our molarities are equal. Again, not usually the case. So we have a reaction, which is our acetic acid, plus our sodium hydroxide, which we're just going to write as hydroxide. That's going to form water and the acetate ion. Okay, so we have 0.025 moles of acetic acid, 0.025 moles of sodium hydroxide, don't care about water, and 0 acetate ion. So now we just go through and do our math. Well, there's no limiting reactant here because both of them are equal value. They both are going to react completely, which means what we're left with in the solution is nothing more than the conjugate base. Okay, all of the acid's gone, all of the base is gone. All that's left is this guy, the conjugate acid, or the conjugate base, excuse me, conjugate base, which is acetic, or the acetate ion. So now what we kind of have to go back and look at is determine, does that ion affect the pH of the solution? And in fact, it does. If you remember back to when we talked about salts, this is a conjugate base of a weak acid, which means it will react with water to produce acetic acid and hydroxide ions. Okay, so our pH is going to be affected because we have hydroxide being produced. Okay, well, how do we solve that out? We need to set up our ice table. Okay, so our ice table again needs to be molarity. So we have 0.25, remember this is moles. Molarity is moles over liters. We go back up. We added 25 milliliters of sodium hydroxide to 25 milliliters of the acetic acid. So 50 milliliters total. Whoops. I don't know why it keeps spazzing like that and causing it to jump up, but I apologize. So we're dividing by 0.05 liters, so 50 milliliters to liters. Okay, and what that's going to do is give us 0.50 molar. I'm about to write moles here, sorry. There we go. 0.50 molar. Don't care about water. We have 0 acid, because if we go back up, notice the acid was just all used up right here. Okay, 0 hydroxide. So we minus x, 0.5 minus x, plus x, plus x, x and x. Now, here's something important to recognize. What we have right here is a conjugate base, which means we need Kb, not Ka. We have Ka. So remember to convert back and forth between Ka and Kb is by using our Kw equation. So Ka is 1.8 times 10 to the negative 5th times Kb equals Kw, which is 1.0 times 10 to the negative 14th, and yes, that's a constant. So when we calculate this, we get Kb to be 5.6 times 10 to the negative 10th. Now we can solve using this equilibrium expression. 5.6 times 10 to the negative 10th equals x times x divided by 0.5. Okay, and what that gives us is x is going to be equal to 1.7 times 10 to the negative 5th. And notice here, x is our hydroxide ion concentration. So when we take the negative log of that value, we're actually calculating POH. So don't forget that little detail. It all depends on who we're taking the negative log of. So our POH is going to equal, in this case, 4.78. Okay, and we always want pH, never POH. So our pH, after we subtract this from 14, is going to be 9.22. So that's kind of our midpoint. So we've kind of done or not midpoint, I'm sorry, this is our equivalence point. So we've done the midpoint, we've now done the equivalence point. The only thing that's really left is to look at after the equivalence point, which we'll do in the next video. So far what we've done is we've done initial, we've done kind of an in-between random point, we've done the midpoint, and we've done the equivalence point. Hopefully this is helping. Thanks, guys.